In the late 1930s, as the shadow of Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan spread across Europe and Asia, the United States remained a sleeping giant. While the world was engulfed in flames, America was hesitant to send its sons back to foreign soil. President Franklin D. Roosevelt provided a lifeline to the Allies through programs like acting as the arsenal of democracy, but the American public remained largely isolationist. All of that changed in a single morning. On December 7, 1941, the Japanese Empire launched a devastating surprise attack on the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. In a matter of hours, thousands of lives were lost, and the Pacific Fleet was crippled. The next day, President Roosevelt declared it a date which will live in infamy, and America officially entered World War II. The entry of the United States shifted the gravity of the entire conflict. Almost overnight, the American economy transitioned into a massive war machine. Car factories began building tanks, and toy companies started making compasses and ammunition. This unprecedented industrial mobilization didn't just equip American soldiers. It fueled the resistance of the British, the Soviets, and the Chinese. While the Axis powers had spent years preparing for war, they had vastly underestimated the sheer productive power of a united America. The struggle was fought on two massive fronts. In the Pacific, the U.S. Navy and Marines engaged in a brutal strategy known as island hopping. From the turning point at the Battle of Midway to the bloody shores of Guadalcanal, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa, American forces pushed the Japanese back, island by island, through dense jungles and treacherous seas. The bravery of the American fleet proved that the vast Pacific was no longer a Japanese lake. Simultaneously, America prepared for the liberation of Europe. On June 6, 1944, known as D-Day, General Dwight D. Eisenhower led the largest amphibious invasion in human history. Under a hail of gunfire, Allied troops led largely by Americans stormed the beaches of Normandy, France. This heroic feat broke the spine of the Nazi occupation. From the liberation of Paris to the freezing forests of the Battle of the Bulge, American troops pushed relentlessly toward Berlin. By May 1945, Hitler's Third Reich had collapsed, and Germany surrendered. However, the war in the Pacific raged on, with the threat of millions more casualties if a mainland invasion of Japan were to occur. This led to one of the most consequential decisions in human history. In August 1945, President Harry Truman authorized the use of the newly developed atomic bombs on the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The sheer scale of the destruction forced Japan to surrender on September 2, 1945, finally bringing the deadliest conflict in history to an end. The world that emerged in 1945 was unrecognizable. The old European empires, Britain and France, were exhausted and bankrupt. In their place stood the United States, now the world's undisputed military and economic superpower. America owned the world's largest navy, the only atomic weapons, and half of the world's manufacturing capacity. Through the Marshall Plan, the U.S. rebuilt Western Europe, and through the creation of the United Nations, it established a new global order. World War II didn't just end a global threat. It fundamentally placed the United States at the helm of global leadership, a position it has held ever since.